I'll do whatever you ask me.
Thank you. I'd like to call the Hartsville Trousdale Water Sewer Utility Board meeting to order and open the meeting. And Mayor McCall, I'm going to put you on the spot and ask for you to say a prayer, please.
I can do that.
Thank you.
Just pray, Father, we thank you for the day and for the beautiful weather and for all the farmers who can cut hay and catch up. Thank you for your many blessings. Bless us with wisdom and guidance that we might do the best for those we serve. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Tyler, the flames, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
And
to the republic which stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We can get our roll call, please.
Heather Banks,
Present.
Mark White,
Here,
Susie Harper,
Here.
Kendra Stafford is absent, Jack McCall,
Here.
Lonnie Taylor.
We have a quorum. Are there any amendments to tonight's agenda? This is the same agenda that was forwarded to you per email. There haven't been any changes since you received it last, but does anyone have anything new they'd like to add to it? Change? If so, speaker forever hold your peace. Thank you. Our next order of business is the approval of our May 2024 regular call board meeting minutes. Move to approve.
second,
I have a first on the floor by Ms. Harper and a second by Co-Chair White. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We have an approval of May 2024 financial reports requested.
Motion to approve.
First on the floor, second. And Mr. Taylor, and a second by Ms. Harper. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next order of business is our engineering report, by Mr. Evan White with Mid-10 Engineering.
coming over no bad news. No bad news.
No bad news.
So the SRF project, the tank's done. They've been turning the tank over while we wait to get, the grover is taken care of, getting it, half in and tied into the main feed to the pumps. They did get that out this week, I'm pretty sure. So we're just a few days away from actually turning the tank into commission. That's that project. The ARP projects, sewer got turned in May the 14th, is when I turned those specs in for the flow monitors. I've got, we had I met with the tank rep, the paint rep that we always use. They came and looked at the 3 tanks that we're planning on bidding. We got some news back. On the water treatment plant, there's 2 tanks. They're 1970 some odd models. One of those came back with lead in the paint. It's nothing major. I know when you hear that, you think it is. Basically, what they do is they have to contain it, so they put a netting around it. They have to spray a chemical on it, and they have to haul it off. So there is an added expense, but there's nothing, there's no liability to y'all. It's actually on the contractor. So it will increase the rates on that. Estimated construction cost we had on that one. The other tank's fine. And then Snake Hollow is so close to the road. That one needs to be contained also. It's in a bad spot. I don't know if y'all know where it's at. And I'm doing a little research and maybe y'all can help me out on it. It looks like y'all only own just a small area where the tank is.
On the Snake Hollow.
Yes, and somehow I need to make sure the contractors are allowed to get on the neighbor's property, because there's no way they can get equipment up there, because it's a blow on the side of the road. So, I've actually looked at the property maps of that, but I'm doing the research. Y'all know that there's an agreement between y'all and The neighboring property that I'm assuming y'all bought the land from, if there's an agreement to be able to drive.
So within the 20-year plan, did you pull the property owners and have, I don't remember reading that with the property owners' names that's.
No,
Okay.
it's changed hands.
Okay,
It was, y'all got it in 1974 on that one too, I think. Was y'all original big state, but usually a deed will have something in there that says y'all got an easement or y'all got permission, so something. It'll require them to be able to get a large air compressor up there, this trucks, so.
then I request that you let us know who they are so that we can let, or through Emily, and then that way we can let her know that we know one of them, we do not mind speaking. If I can speak on behalf, like if anybody on the board knows who that
Yeah,
property
the
owner
agreement's
is.
in there, it's good, if not, we're gonna have to give an agreement.
Okay.
Permission to call it, so.
Okay, and then that also gives us the information to find out if they're, to search and find out if we have an agreement on file with them.
Wise and go. Register deeds and go through that process, so just haven't yet.
Thank you.
But that's what come back on those things, it has no layer. It's not cost, so it's good. That's got to go to ARP projects, and we're dealing with rubber tanks, you've asked me to speak on it. So,
Which is, just so everybody knows, that's the tank that has the big heart on it, the above ground tank.
so the original plan was just to, eventually, once y'all got done with it, was to have a demo. At that point, there was not a dollar, whatever it's true, and our plan and our estimates to follow it was, when it wasn't there, it had been a lot easier to take it down, wouldn't have been expense. So now, you can take it down, if they're going to fly it down with the crane, you want to cut it in pieces and take it down. It really makes your costs go extremely high. They have it demolished. If you have it painted, it'll be a contained site, because you've got your pump station, you've got the Dollar Tree, you've got Highway 25, you've got houses, you've got everything there, so. That would be an added expense to actually paint it. You can paint it, you can still use it if you want to. You just have to install a valve for elevated storage. There's a pier, one of the piers is, we got some structural damage to it, the rebar is showing. Basically, they can go in, we can have them beat out the concrete that's of question, get back to something sound. I have to epoxy and rebar and build up that pier, and it can be fixed. There's just an expense to that. To continue to use it as a tank, there's some other items like OSHA compliance, manuals, and there's whatever the report said it go.
Yeah, I remember
So there's
that.
lots of items in there, so every time you see an item, it's just another expense, but. So that's some options you got, and you can sit there and leave it as it is right now. The only thing the state requires is you say, if you're gonna quit using it for, water storage, you sever the line. You just cut it, that's all they care, as long as water can't get in it, out of it, they have no regulations over it after that. I'll take questions, or y'all got comments and some.
That particular tower, had we not decided we were just done with it? Because there was some talk about the public maybe being upset because it says Hartsville.
I mean, would you empty it out and let it sit there and just get it?
Well, I guess my worry is stability and
It's
liability.
stable without water in it. Just the foundation need to be, I mean, I would want to get the foundation fixed if it's gonna stay. And it's not,
I guess that's my question.
It's one footing, and it doesn't, the picture didn't look, granted, that picture's here.
it's not, you just don't want the weather to continue.
Correct, you wanna fix that one, but did you look at the, well,
I haven't seen it.
well, it's not as,
They gave us the abbreviated within the 20-year plan. But there
if
is,
you take the water out of it, it doesn't weigh anything, you can sit there forever. Now, who do you wanna give it to? I mean, that's the big thing, do you want
Do you want to
The
get
county to take it back, or downtown Hartsville to take it back, or the Chamber of Commerce to take it, or?
Anybody but the water department.
Correct, I mean, that's what we need to look into.
But I guess where I was going with all that is obviously regardless, we gotta fix the minimum, but if we spend that much money, would it be worth spending a little more money and having that extra storage since it's already there? I would just like to see a comparison.
The big thing is what, is the
And-
insides what's so nasty from the pictures? I ran out of time when I got to those last.
Not
pictures.
really, I mean, it's just. If you're gonna paint it, you're gonna paint it. So whether you put water in or you don't put water in, you're gonna have that cost. We're talking, the last one I had painted of that size was almost $500,000 probably dollars to have it painted. It
The
can
county have,
and that was several years.
What is that volume of water for storage, elevated storage?
150,000 gallons. So what if you pull together the separation of
Options and cost.
options of cost estimates between making a historical landmark and now, just so you know, the property itself has a pump station on there that we need to keep. So if, like, a historical landmark, I know that they do.
You would just deed off those things there.
Or the structure itself, and you could do the structure and then still on the land with a 99-year land lease or a 40-year land lease, whatever you want to do. But weigh the two options, and somebody please add options to the table if you'd like for him to look into, but one, to continue to keep it in use and it be a provable piece of equipment for the department, or a historical landmark that could be donated to somebody.
If you take it out of service, will the state let us put it back into service, or once you've severed it, are we dead because we're out of?
You can put it back in service,
With a different set of regs, or
you just have to bring it up to compliance, so you have to.
so no different? So fix the railings and fixing the railings and everything that we need to do is different.
And you gotta watch his report, the guy's good, I'm not trying to negate his report in any such way, but some of that stuff is if you're building a brand new
I
tank.
know. I got it.
Your grandfather needs.
That's what I was
You
asking.
don't necessarily have to do.
But if you
stuff.
took it out of service, does the grandfather start back in 1963 or start back in 2025? If we
I don't think so.
That's
They're
the
gonna make
question.
you bring it up to.
Correct, so,
Right now, your grandfather needs.
correct, so if we cut the line and we want to use it, we can put it back in
but to
service.
continue to use it, we're looking at least 500,000.
Yes, it would be.
Mhm.
Because you have to take the inside, you have to take the outside, you have to fix the leg, and you're going to do some of the.
Let me ask you this, and this is just out of pure ignorance, because I just don't know. Is it more or less stable with or without water in it? I know water,
They design it for the worst case.
if we empty it out, I just hate worst case scenario, tornado come through here and that tower goes flying across Hartsville.
Can we
Well,
keep,
it's not that long, so.
then can we keep it in service even with the large water tank, the new water tank?
Sure.
And we need to,
You're just more likely, that one's built for future expansion, the two new.
but you also have,
You don't have.
well, I'm sorry. I
You don't have to
shouldn't say
keep that one full.
We, this board and you as a consultant are facing, and the department, but all three are facing a line that's gonna be installed on 141, that we need to focus on what the future growth is gonna be in that area, because we need to go back to the 20-year plan and see what we gotta do, and will this help us?
I don't think it would be a detriment to have that as or have that in use.
And
Because of the amount of growth we have coming, and if something happened and you had to shut something off temporarily or whatever, you still have this.
It would benefit the system as a whole to keep it.
The only thing it benefits, you got more elevated storage. So the state requires you to have 24 hours of elevated storage. The new tank took care of that. The reason we built the new tanks, because y'all had 3 major tanks that was issues. And doing that took care of rehabbing those three. So now you're kind of circling back and trying to rehab one, so. It was the. In order to build this one, we was taking care of three. So now we're taking care of two. Yes, does it benefit you? You're going to have a little bit more elevated storage. Pressure wise, absolutely not. So
So we need to charge you with the challenge to find out for us. What's the best option so this board can make a decision? I was worried that we had to make a decision tonight. Okay, thank you.
Property on North Snake Hollow is Joseph Hawkins.
and that's not to say that they can turn a valve off. We can run the system on the new tank.
But you have to turn it off anyway to do the repairs, correct?
Oh, absolutely. It has to come off.
So, does that mess us up or anything? Okay,
Because
because
what I'm
that's,
saying is there's no rush.
gotcha.
We just, in order for us to turn this one on, that one has to be turned off. Or it's
Okay.
gonna overflow. As it's blowing out, so,
Simple hydraulics.
yeah.
Um. For what it's worth, I mean, the amount of quote that we've seen, I don't know that it would be a bad thing to have a different storage tank. Elevated storage tank. I mean, is it necessary right now? But, you know, in the event of something, I mean, going haywire one way or another, it might not be that.
But we did overbuild the new tank.
Yes, it's built for like a new treatment plant, so right now you've got those two that we're having pain. In this other part. 220,000 gallons is what y'all, that's considered a clear well. Because your high surface is pumped from those. So in other words, the treatment plant treats the water and it goes to a tank and that tank pushes down into the system. So this was built for when you put a new plant on Perkins Bend, all the water goes there. And the benefit of that is you're pumping, your high surface only has to pump a short distance. And then all that gravity flows out to your entire system. So if your pumps, if you have a power failure or something, you've got, you know, it's a little bit better than having it wait on the pump or high temperature and everything.
Well, I mean, I do remember that was one of the ones we were angling to get rid of.
But at the time, we thought it was gonna be a lot cheaper
A lot
to
cheaper.
demo. What we knew what the cost was to remodel it or rehab it. But we also had a cheap cost, because years ago, we could give those tanks away because they could scrap them and it would pay for it. Now they're charging a little bit to take them down. That's the fallout, so, that option is also taken. There's too many obstructions at this point.
Anybody have anything else? Thank you for us not having to give you any kind of answer tonight.
Yeah.
If you'll pull some more information for us, we'd appreciate it. The general manager's report. Come quickly.
Oh. As you know, we're still in a lot of payoffs, water and so we've been flow testing and backflow and working on lead coppers with all that. And, like Evan said, we turned the tank over and we got a back feed yesterday on it and, they come back good because I haven't heard anything today, so it's probably good. And, the new subdivision down here, we've been, flushing water through the lines to it and, trying to get it cleaned out and get rid of back feed, get the mark under. If the water's cleared up and stuff and, been fixing several weeks this month. Just things like that and, talked to Bill Scruggs about paving the road for the tank. We've been looking about that and, searched up some dump trucks. Done some pricing on there.
Talk to us about the dump truck. I noticed that you've got a 2020 Kenworth dump truck that has a 7-year life expectancy for depreciation that was bought in 2019. You've got a 2005 International dump truck that had a 5-year life expectancy that has exceeded its its depreciation as well. Is this-
Storage. That was,
So it can work.
yeah, that was,
With the slope.
I remember.
Okay, so that one's for sludge, the new one for sludge, that gets to my next question, so what, so this one's, what's its purpose? Is it to replace one you already have?
Yes, it's an old one, we got an old international out here, it.
That's the
you know,
05 model, okay,
It breaks down, it's older, got a little age on it, wear and tear, and it's just to replace that.
What are you looking to buy?
It's another international. And but actually the gray one's on the lot. And it's the manual.
What size do you need?
Oh,
I've got the specs on my desk.
she got the specs.
I think we should see them, please.
And, it's a white one's supposed to be here about October. And it's a man, they're both international.
It's manual, you ain't no drive.
What, oh, yeah, they can't act. No, they can't, we got several people can.
Have you, just asking, have you looked at any other brands?
No, we probably should, we can,
And all reason I ask is because you may be able to catch a deal with somebody.
okay.
So the 05 model, is it out of service currently, or is it just on its last leg?
No, man, it's just on select lead,
Okay,
it's their run, but it's in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, I know when Tommy was here, we had discussed it, and I know he was given a go-ahead to get a dump truck, but it's not in the minutes, so I wanted to make sure I had it
okay,
documented.
So you're looking for a single life? Man, I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay,
I would. This one has a Cummins engine in it. I'm just suggesting that you look at a Freightliner with a Detroit engine.
okay,
And the only reason I say that is because the after treatment system. The Freightliner and Detroit after treatment system is a lot more. Contained, where some of the other active treatment systems, the sensors are spread out all through it. There's just a lot of trouble.
okay,
And just from experience, we've had less trouble with, or you can go Western Star. Western Star, you could I would just seriously look at a Detroit over Cummins.
okay,
And Cummins has had a lot of trouble, and then there's been a lot of, with the Cummins engine. A lot of the sensors changing from year to year. And it just makes it harder to get specific sensors. Instead of crossing over several model years,
yeah,
just a suggestion.
yeah, we'll check it out tomorrow.
may I ask a favor
What?
on behalf of your position on the board? If maybe, if you reach out to him with what your findings are.
If we buy a piece of junk, then I'm. No, I'd be. In fact,
Sounds like it's his wheelhouse, for sure.
Reason
No, I know it is.
reason I got international, Bill, he bought some.
I told him he messed up too. I told him he messed up too.
Yeah, but that's why he had a number, and I just called.
And I'm gonna say this, man, and I know when y'all get done with something, it's pretty well done. But I would like to, at some point, hopefully in the future. Not use our equipment until there's nothing left of it, maybe
This is pretty.
replace it a little sooner so that it brings a little bit in the back end.
Yeah.
And if you get into a situation like that, that Kenworth
Mhm.
will always be worth more than an international.
Yeah.
Peterbilt. I'm not
Mhm.
saying we gotta go out and buy, decked out stuff, but as far as the engine wise, I just think you'll have less trouble.
Okay.
And just to put a little bit of information on the table, there is a requirement with this new grant that within the grant application, we have an assets management plan that's to be built within, so it's gonna be a little more, quite a bit more expensive than what the departments are already utilizing now. So that would be my hope, is that some of this life expectancy on some of our equipment lasts quite a bit longer.
That part in.
Well, we're gonna make it on there. It may not be on that part, but we might see if we can make it on the other departments, so.
Oh,
So, I think it's, my time on this board, there's been a lot of equipment that's been purchased, and I know that was brought on by your predecessor, and there's no ill will towards that at all. I just want to make sure that your department has the best quality equipment in the best shape possible, and it lasts longer. And
and I'm not picking this truck to death at all, but like the clutch, the clutch they spec, I mean, spec a different clutch, which would make your life easier down the line, because chances are, especially if being a dump truck, we're going to end up putting the clutch in later on. And it may save a little money, it may cost a little more money on the front end, but later on, maintenance wise, it's gonna save some. I don't know, I think we'll be better served not buying an international like the highway department did.
Okay.
And
But they can't work this night, I mean,
I believe I'm hearing that we're comfortable with you moving forward, like we had told Tommy before, and,
But no option.
but just more options.
If you need a truck, you need a truck, there's no way around it.
Right,
I just wanna make sure we buy the best piece of equipment that we
Right.
can on the front end.
that's right.
Not
And-
just with the idea of doing the job in mind, but hopefully maybe getting some money back on the backside when we turn loose.
and I understand how critical it is. We have one truck that probably has 500 miles in 5 years, but it's the most critical truck we've got, and it takes it from railroad track to a bakery. Load of flour. So that's why I wanted to know if you had specific uses for the two different trucks, and thank you for that clarity and seeing.
And we had water loss.
Yes, I've got
Okay,
a water
thank you.
loss worksheet that I prepared. It is a little bit from last month at 33.5, but we are down quite a bit from the same time last year. I know we've had several leaks that they've worked on, so.
Owner leaks or infrastructure leaks,
Infrastructure.
or infrastructural leaks, or our capital.
Yes, ours. And we've been doing a lot of flow testing too, so that.
Anybody have any questions? I think you're off the hook. Okay. Anything else? Marty, I think we need to discuss any more about the Grover tank. You've covered it up, it's on the agenda next, but you've covered that a bunch. Is there anything you might need to bring back to the table?
I've got, get it for the tank rehabilitation for use, a tank rehabilitation for historic use, and a tank demo costs. The three options.
Anybody can think of anything else? Okay. No public comments since, we're all part of the agenda. Board member comments? There has, I'll bring to the table a conversation that has been brought forth in a couple other boards and committees, and that is an infrastructure or impact fee, an impact fee. So there's been a inquiry on that on our behalf, as the county is looking at their impact fee as well. So that might be a conversation to bring back to the table, parallel with theirs. And just so you know, Evan, we might hit you up with that.
All that stuff. So, yeah.
Oh, okay, that information would be greatly appreciated. And that is that BZA, or is that, what committee is that?
No, it's just, it's just, codes on,
Okay, code and zoning.
and bring it up for some. David Bond shared that, I'm pretty sure, or last year. As it stands, I mean, we are getting ourselves in a hole with our current impact fees. Where they are facing, facing the amount of growth that we're having, the amount of, what it's costing the county to absorb that growth. So that's what we're gonna try and find a way to ease that, and we know that when it comes to the growth that this department feels as much as anybody can. So if we get further down the line, we'll make sure you're looked at it.
Thank you. That'd be much appreciated.
Those funds get collected, they get dispersed, as equally as the program of education and here, it's one of the biggest. I would say probably the biggest, county impact is.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. There was a conversation I heard that we can't take money from the county. But if it's within an impact fee, we might need to check into that or see if we need to have our own impact fee.
Y'all
So
got to say this for development.
for a development fee. And so, but I'll look into that a little bit more and bring that back to you as well. So,
It just hit the table, to start, just taking a look at it.
okay, perfect. Anything else? Motion to adjourn first and second. Madam Paul. Crawford.